Oh.
落ちこぼれとは
Okay, who the fuck are you, bro? You look like a failure.
春川目になったぜ。
What the fuck? A giant brush buddy. They're so cute. What are they? I want one. I want a bunch of them. I want to hug them. I want... What's up? Welcome back. Welcome to new. My name is Mark, and today we're back with another episode of Witch Hat Atelier. This is episode 11. And if you want to see the reaction to it, you can check it out on Patreon. Link in the description down below. But where we last left off at the end of last episode, we got to see Coco feel better after unfortunately falling ill. And we also got a little bit more insight into Tarta as a character, which was really cool to see. And then finally, we got to see that the brimmed caps at the very end of the episode are planning to attack Coco or whoever at the test, because they'll be away from Keyfree and unprotected. And we got to see a floating cap and cape, or robe or cloak or whatever. And yeah, a little creepy, honestly, but that's for the future me to worry about. So with that said, this episode itself was really good and I'm excited to talk about it, but as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. Again, the Patreon down below. Tier prices are lower, so you can check it out, become a member, check out the reaction, then come back here for the review, and you also get a shout out if you join the Patreon. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. So with that said, if you're new here, strap in. If you've been here before, you know what to do. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, grab your notebooks, because I once again took a lot of notes, and let's talk about the episode. So this episode starts out with a goat following what I learned are called scowl wolves, and they look adorable. I love them so much already. They're currently on their way to mating season, because mating season for them, and they shed their scales to protect their offspring, however that works. But really the point of the episode, the point of the scene, I mean not the episode, the point of the scene was for a goat to reflect on how she has been feeling about Coco. And she's reflecting on how she thought she had nothing to learn about Coco. But then she's like, how exactly are we different if we all learn the same magic, sort of thing? And it was really interesting to see a goat be more reflective. But it's also not surprising, because at the end of the day, she is a kid still. And like, kids can usually learn and grow and stuff if they're given the resources to do so. So it's not surprising. I am kind of surprised that it happened so soon. I thought she'd be more standoffish in the future. For the foreseeable future, not suddenly being this episode. But anyways, switching back to Coco and Keyfree, Coco is getting better at drawing spells. She's happy about it too, which is nice. It's nice to see her happy after feeling like crap last episode, man. And Keyfree compliments her, and it's just going well. And Coco's happy, but she says there aren't many spells she is confident in, and she worries about falling back on the same old seals. And I get it, because it feels like you're stagnant, but at the same time, and as I would learn, Keyfree feels the same way. I was like, yo, the fact that she has something to rely on, that's not a bad thing. Because in a pinch, if you have something that you know you can trust and rely on, that's a good thing, compared to being like, oh, you can only use like new stuff or trying to learn new stuff and only that. Like, and Keyfree also agrees, and basically he says that her specialty, as we learn, is drawing straight lines and doing spells consistently and reliably. And she got all happy about how that's her specialty now, is straight lines. And meanwhile then, she's also getting ready to read a lot of books. And we get to see her become more appreciative of the spells of amazing people. Cause like, she's like, wow, seeing amazing people do amazing magic is like really cool and makes her happy and all that. Which I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's happy, as always. But I also do think it genuinely is like incredible, these people that can get their spells like that. Because she's looking at books that have like these spells drawn out that anyone can do. It's not as simple to actually get your spell like standardized like that, I don't think. If it is, oh, well, I was wrong then, but I don't think it is, and apologies, it is like 100 degrees outside, bro. But the point is, um, actually do think it's impressive, even amazing, that they have their spells written in books and stuff like that. And so Coco's right, they are amazing. But then, where are we? Right here. And then Coco's like, Riche, look at this, because Riche is also off in her little area doing her thing. But Riche but Riche says no, and that she does not like looking, only drawing. And then Keyfree, and then what proceeds is a unfortunate, what I imagine are growing pains of basically being a parent for Keyfree. In that he speaks to her and he's like, yo, that's true, but also there's studying spells is not all about drawing. It's also about studying and reading. But then Riche's like, no, I'm good. No, thank you. And in anger, she draws a spell and it explodes out onto crystals, ice, and stuff. And Keyfree jumps into action, goes over, makes sure she's okay. But then he's like, you shouldn't draw. He takes her hand, making sure she's okay. But then he's like, you shouldn't draw spells when you're upset. And objectively, that is true. That is objectively true. And so, but Riche did not like hearing that, essentially. And so she pulls away and runs off. And I can't blame her. Like, again, she's a kid. She probably doesn't know how to completely regulate her emotions and stuff. And so she runs off. Coco, of course, follows after her with the brush buddy. And one thing leads to another, and they find a really cool hiding place. Like, it's actually really cool. They, the brush buddy knows. Brush buddy climbs into a cauldron in their room, drops down and then goes through a hole. Coco falls down into the cauldron, and then comes out the other side in a really cool looking like cave area. And I thought that was just really cool how that's set up. I love the different ways magic can be used like that, bro. And Riche likes it in there. It's a big place too. She has her own little desk, her own little chair and everything. And like, it's just really cool. Meanwhile, where are we? Meanwhile, we also get to see something that Riche made. One of her first spells, I think. It's ribbons made out of crystals or ice. I'm not sure if it's ice or crystals. I don't remember. But she doesn't have a name yet. But it's really cool. And Coco's happy to see it too. I'm happy as well. And the way she describes how happy she is, she's like, yo, that's really cool. It makes my eyes happy. And that's just adorable, the way she says that, man. And, oh, also, I should mention this. Forgot to mention this. Blasphemy for me, I know. We got to see Arugio early on, actually, at only 6 minutes into the episode, which was awesome. Roughly 6 minutes. So, that's cool. Anyways, moving on. Coco, to my surprise, or not surprise, actually, really, because Coco, she asks why. Oh, also, before then, Riche says Coco can have a ribbon, which that's cool. That's sweet. But really, we get down to the thick of it. Coco asks why Riche doesn't like looking at books. And I made the, I kind of called it, that she doesn't want to draw. She doesn't want to look at them because that's like the way that everyone's supposed to do it, or like they think everyone's supposed to do it because it's in the books and stuff. And like, basically, she says she only wants to think about her own spells. And as she starts looking at books, they'll start telling her what to draw. She'll have to draw things she won't want to draw, stuff that isn't her style. And that's fair, honestly. Like, especially because of how many books there are and stuff, like that's actually a really valid way to think about things. But also, it's also, I think, partly about self-control. As long as you know yourself and know what you want, I think she could take inspiration from the books. Just like an abstract inspiration from it instead of more like literal drawing like it. And she also says that she's sick of it. And honestly, that's fair. And then finally, we get some stuff with Arugio and Keyfree. Keyfree explains that Riche was apprenticed to another witch before she came there. And that's cool. But also, I'm kind of like, yo, what the fuck happened to the other witch before she came here? How did she end up there? Because I was under the impression that you don't usually like that, like one apprentice stays with their mentor or whatever. How often? How? Okay, new question. How often do people change like masters or teachers or whatever? Because it seems like something that would not be like something that happens often. Like you change from one master to another, unless like they die, of course. Or like if they're still alive. Which leads me to believe that maybe the previous witch was dead now. And Kiefer says that she uses her stubbornness as a shield to protect herself. And I wrote, damn, because that's damn, man. Then I also asked the question, how does she end up with Kiefer? Because that is a valid question. How did she end up with Kiefer, bro? And then Kiefer says he's never sure how much to interfere. And that humans are not as simple as spells, and that's so true, man. I mean, sure, some spells are probably like in depth, have a lot of like stuff to them, but that's not the same, I don't think, as like a human, a functioning, growing human that adapts to the world. Well, technically, he says people, not humans, but like I think it's probably means the same thing. Maybe if he doesn't mean the same thing, my bad. But like humans, they adapt, they grow as time goes on. Spells, they can adapt and grow, but they adapt and grow at the behest of someone else's usually direct interference. Whereas humans, and people in general, they adapt and grow as time moves on through I almost said natural selection. I mean, that too. But also through, through just life itself as you're navigating. So, there are similarities, of course, but, by and large, he's not wrong. They are not as simple. And so, Arugio decided to take Kiefer's mind off it, and he's like, yo, here, tosses him a bag, and gives him a bag that has his newest creations, Snug Stones, which is awesome. And it's awesome to see Arugio happy like that, man. But, basically, they are for putting under the covers, and they will keep you warm from tip to toe. And he said it might be a placebo, but it will help. And then Kiefer's like, yo, there's 5 of them in here. But before that, he's like, yo, Arugio always has kindness in his spells, and that's sweet, man. I definitely ship those two. I know I'm not the only one, bro. The amount of fan art of those two I have seen on Twitter and Reddit, but especially Twitter, is insane, bro. I mean, good reason, keep doing it. But damn, man. And but anyways, Kiefer's like, yo, there are 5 in here, not 2, and not 5 in here, not 4. And Arugio's like, yo, this one's for you. Give the other 4 for your apprentice. But then he's like, Kiefer should set an example for the girls and get a good night's sleep. And yeah, that is true. Kiefer should set a good example. He's a good example at times, but not all the time. Arugio's probably a better example. Probably. I actually don't know enough about him to say that perfectly, but I'd let him be a good example for me. But as he leaves, Kiefer's like, I'll try. And honestly, that's the best we can ask for him. So moving on. Meanwhile, Kiefer is there after that, and he sees a record player almost moving. But then he's like, a letter from who? And I was like, yo, that's a really cool contraption for long distance letters. It's basically just a wizard, a magic fax machine. That's what I got from that, man. And if I did everything right for the intro to this video, you'll see a clip, hopefully, of me making that joke. It was a lot of fun. It was funny. It's just a magic fax machine, bro. And so he goes over, checks it. A goat comes back, and we learn that a goat just got word of a goat's second test. And I'll tell you what it is, but then I'll give my thoughts. It's morning in 3 days at Serpentback Cave. That's also the name of the episode. But also, that feels too soon. And I get it. Because there's only 12 or 13 episodes for this season, I get it. I get why they're like why they're making it fast to that point for the plot, but also that feels too fast even for her. Like they should give at least a week for something like this, for like this kind of test. It should be at least, keyword here, at least a week of preparation, just because like if you think about it this way, like with sudden announcement like this, it'll be a lot harder maybe for her to be fully prepared. Whereas if she had a week to like properly prepared, you'd think they'd want her to be properly prepared for everything. Let's see, where are we? Oh, finally. Okay, and now we cut to the next scene. It's Riche as a child. Yeah, that's right. We get backstory for Riche. Not a lot. It's actually a very short scene, but she's doing something with her magic, with like one of her spells, and we get to see someone be like, "Yo, how you doing?" Turns out it's her brother. They kind of look alike. At first, I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" But it makes sense actually now that I saw the hair and stuff. Like, yeah, it makes sense that they're brothers and sister. But like, but his name is really, and she shows him it, and she shows him what she made, and she's like, "Isn't it pretty?" And then he gives her a hug. He's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I love it when Riche makes spells that express who she is." It's really sweet. And then she leaves, because of course she does, bro. Not she. He leaves. He leaves her behind. But before that, he's like, "Riche, keep being yourself. Never stop being yourself." He stole my catchphrase. That's my catchphrase. I've been saying that at the end of every single video, almost every single video, for the last, I want to say, year or two that I've been doing this. And then even before that, when I was at my other channel, I was saying that as well. He stole my catchphrase. I'm suing him. I'm kidding. But then he left, and he got like a hat put on by, I assume, the other witch that was like their master or whatever. And I wrote down, brother left her. Why? Then I had two theories as to why he left. The first one was, did he leave to go to war? I don't know if there's war in this world still. There might have been back then. But like nowadays, I don't know if there's still war. But that's an option. A secret war that he has to go help fight in because he's strong. I don't know. Or the second theory was to protect her for some reason. I haven't figured that out. But then, with that, we go back to the present. As I said, really short backstory, bro. And so, as it turns out, they arrive at the serpent cave place thing, kind of. They arrive near it. And a goat is embarrassed and a little upset because she fell asleep on the way there. She wanted to use every last minute to prepare. But then she's like, darn, this snug stone worked too well. This nice heat and stuff. And hey, that's a good... And there's also a shot of Aurelio giving a peace sign, I'm pretty sure. It worked well. So I'm happy that it works. And then... But Kifuri's like, yo, you got this? And she's like, yeah, I got this. I'm from House Arkham after all. And then... The only way I can describe this next scene that happens is like pure distaste or hatred. And I couldn't quite figure out why in the moment, but now I know why. A guy comes in there and he's like, wow, how spectacular. If only if only my failure as an apprentice was better. This is his second time around. And like, I didn't even know his name yet. But I immediately was like, who the fuck are you? Why the fuck? You look like a failure, not him. Like, in the moment, I felt extreme hatred for him. I didn't know why, as I said. But now I know. It's the way he looks, carries himself, and sounds. It screamed, as I wrote down, pompous. Like, that's how he screams to me, is pompous. And I hated him so much. Like, yes, there are definitely pompous characters in other shows that I probably have enjoyed. But they had redeeming qualities about him, and so far, this guy has no redeeming qualities. And I wrote down that this pompous guy calls his apprentice, who I'm probably gonna butcher his name, Iuni, 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 something like that. Calls him a failure, and that he apparently failed twice so far. But like, yeah, he's a kid. That's probably expected, that they're not all gonna pass on this first try, man. And then the guy, Pompous guy, is like, yo, I wish I could trade for a daughter of House Arkham, and I'm not sure you would, man. I'm not sure a goat would do well with him either. But then Keyfree is like, Master Kukro, and of course his name is Kukro. That's such a stupid name, I'm gonna be honest here. I apologize if there are people with that actual name. But that's a stupid name as far as I'm concerned right now if it goes to this kind of guy. And he's like, and Keyfree's like, apprentices aren't just something that you can trade. And like, yeah, he's right, they're not. And yeah, Keyfree was not having that. The guy also says something else. I don't remember what Kukro, I almost said Kukri, what Kukro says. But then Keyfree's like, how dare you? But before he can get any more upset, Iuni is like, it's okay, it's fine, it's right. I've caused nothing but problems for my master. Then he apologized to his master again for causing him further embarrassment. And I just feel bad for Inui, man. Iuni. I think it's Iuni. I just feel bad for him, bro. He seems like a nice kid. He's just trying to do his best from the looks of it. And like, yeah, the guy's a dick. Next, the guy that's like his master is a dick, man. I just feel bad for him. I'm glad Keyfree got upset though and wasn't gonna let that stand. So moving on, next page. This page? Yeah, this page. Okay. As I said, I took a lot of notes. And then next scene, moving on from all that, little brush buddy turns around and is scared, like jump scared, and then runs and crawls up Coco's arm and stuff, and is scared. And then Coco turns around and she, instead of being scared, her eyes go wide with stars essentially. She's so happy as we see a giant brush buddy apparently talking. And she's like, a brush buddy talking? Hell yeah. And then, but then Keyfree's like, look closer. She's a proper witch. And then it's revealed through a contraption, a cloak that mimics nearby creatures, that it was just Elira, the really pretty witch that we saw before with Keyfree, like episode 2, I think. Yeah, either episode 2 or episode 3. And she's gonna be the test proctor for this test. However, I wrote down, and I stand by this, I kind of wish it was just a giant talking brush buddy. I think that would have been a lot cooler, and you might see that clip at the beginning of the video. But I really kind of wish that was just a giant brush buddy. That'd be so much funnier, so much cooler. It was adorable. Still adorable, because it's a brush buddy. But I wish it was just a real giant brush buddy that talks. That'd be cool, man. Anyways, she's a test proctor. And we learn what the next test is. It's something about the night, but basically, you become the sincerity of the night. That's the name of the test. She says you become like a knight with a shield. You must escort and protect someone with magic to the exit of the Serpent Back Cave. And yeah, that's fair. That's fair, man. And I'm gonna speed through some of this, because this is I'm just gonna be like, yo, I'm just gonna like speed through this. But basically, turns out the place is a labyrinth, and they are going to they thought that they were going to escort a human or whatever. But she's like, yo, if you get caught using magic, you'll fail the test. And it goes like, so if we get caught using magic, we'll just like, what happens if we get caught using magic? But then she's like, you'll fail the test, but you'll also be exposed as humans. And that's when we learn they're going to be disguised as creatures with those cloaks. And all I can see next is I love the scene that we get next. We got to see what are called Murphins. I almost said Miffins. Murphins. not griffins, merfins. And they were, the only word I can describe them is adorable and majestic. 2 words. And the test is to use magic to escort the merfons from one end of the cave to the other, because it's currently mating season, breeding season, migrating and all that. And they're going to, and the young go through the cave, and all of them, they're going through the cave from one end of the other to the other. And that's how they've been for generations, essentially, doing that thing. And so they're gonna escort them, the young. And Elira says the reason they're doing this is that she says that witches must take responsibility for altering their environment, and that's so true. I am so glad we got a socially conscious, socially and environmentally conscious witch. That's cool to see. I love when characters are environmentally conscious like that. It's always fun. And again, the merfons are adorable. I love them. And moving on. So a goat and an uni are given 2 baby, each given a baby merfon to escort and protect. But then Riche is also given one. And she's like, there's been a mistake. I'm not a part of the test. But then Elira's like, yo, I got your application though. And turns out Kefri signed her up to take the test. She didn't know. And she's upset. Rightfully so, because that is sudden. But she says she doesn't want to do a test. But then he's like, yo, basically, I'm paraphrasing, I want you to take the test to better help you for your future, essentially. And she says that he says that he believes that she'll benefit from this. And then he asks her to trust him this one time. And that's a big deal, I think, for her to actually say yes, because she does. She says, okay, but she is going to do what she wants in the test. And then she said if she doesn't like it, she'll never do it again. And also that if she if this changes who she is, she'll never trust him again. And that's fair. But I am glad, like, this definitely, because of what we've seen from Riche, this definitely is like a show of fit trust. A big deal for her to trust an adult like this. Because keep in mind, her whole thing that we've seen from her, she's always been talking about adults treating children like creatures called children, and just like infantilizes them almost. Like, she definitely doesn't like adults. So her trusting Kefri, who, as far as I am aware, is an adult, that's definitely a big deal for her. And so I'm happy that she did that. And then the Kukro guy comes in as as Riche is walking away. Kefri is standing there. Kukro guy comes in, tattling on and on about how, man, some things you just can't train out of an apprentice. Going, but master. But then Kefri's like, oh, he looks back and he has a glare in his eye. He's like, did you say something? And the guy, Kukro, he's spooked. I am too, man. The guy had it coming. But Kefri kind of scary there. Like, it's not even necessarily a glare. It's just more like a look of distaste, disgust. And the guy does the only smart thing for him, I guess, was running away. He ran away and went back to the Great Hall. But unfortunately, he left his apprentice alone. And Kefri is upset about that. Elira, she's not happy either. But the guy's like, yo, you two can handle it. And so Kefri goes over to Inui and is like, yo, you okay? But then Inui is happy and he's like, I can do this. And I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy that he's happy, but I hope nothing happens to him, man. I hope he's not also a traitor. Like, secretly he's like some bad, like he's like a brim cap or something. To be fair, we don't know what the brim cap, if the brim cap without a body looks like. So, or if they have a body, we don't know. Point is, I hope he's not like a traitor or anything. Even if he is, I hope he's happy. He works out and ends up happy, man. Like, dealing with that guy, I don't blame him if he turned bad, honestly. But finally, the test and migration begins. And while they go in, they begin their test. And Kefri decides they're going to have a late breakfast while he gives them some history. And I'm happy for history, man. And apparently, according to the history, forbidden spells drawn before the day of the pact still linger around the world like scars, and one of those spells is a winding staircase that they have to go through, the test takers. And that's not great, man. I don't like that at all. But what I do like is that we're gonna get more history next episode, hopefully, because I always take the chance for history lessons and stuff. And it's basically just a big labyrinth that they have to go through. Now what I'm wondering is, are the Brimcats gonna attack this place to get to a goat? To get to Coco, they go through a goat first? Or are they gonna wait until Coco takes her test? That's what I'm curious about, and I hope we find out more about what their plan is. Because next episode is the season finale, I think. Unless there's 13 episodes. If there is, we're like the penultimate episode, not the final episode yet. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. That's my review of the episode and recap. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Seriously, let me know what your thoughts were about everything that I said. And, yeah. I don't have much else to say. You can check out the Patreon down below for the reaction. The link will take you directly to it. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. Hype the video on the YouTube mobile app. And, yeah, again, if you join the Patreon, you get free, you get reactions and exclusives. And you also get your name at the beginning of videos. But with that said, until next time, Patreon. Until next time, YouTube. My name is Mark. Never stop being yourself. Stay safe there. And I will see all you incredible people in the next video.